Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my November wrap up part 1 and it's going well. I can't believe it. After October being a bit of a flop, November is going so bloody well. I've only got one book that's unrated and the lowest rated book is 3.5 stars, and I've got 5 stars, 4.5 stars, 3 4 stars. I'm reading a bit slower this month, so I've only read 14 books on the 15th, so that's a little bit slower than normal, but they've all been quite big and I've got 2 buddy reads that are on the go. One I'm in the middle of, which I'll tell you now, so that is In Memorium. So I'm literally spot in the middle of this, and this is 100% amazing. It is going to be up on my favourites for the year so far. It's freaked out my sister Charlie because we've got like 2 or 3 books that we're matching on our top favourite books of the year so far. So In Memoriam, I'm buddy reading it with the lovely Danny from Danny's Book World and Angela from Reading Off My Shelf, and it is going so well. It's set in World War One, so it is very heartbreaking. You really have to be aware going into this that it will shatter you into a million pieces, but the writing is incredible, the romance is lovely, and it's just done so well. It's just, you can fly through the pages. It's an incredible book. And then on the day that I'm filming this, it's the 15th, I'm about to start Wayward with my sister Charlie from Charlie Book Reads and Jem from Gemma Books. I think we're reading like 2 chapters a day or something, so I'll double check. I will double check, but we're reading this gradually over the rest of the month, so we do them gradually. But this is one of my books I was expecting to be one of my favourites, so I'm really looking forward to this. And this is about like the 3 generations. We've got the past we've got the present generation, which is set in 2019, Violet in 1942, and Altha in 1619. Everyone that I know that has read this has loved this, so I know that I'm going to be going into it with a positive eye, so I start that today. And then I've got books that I'll be starting today, but they're books that I'm adding on to. One of the books is the ones that's already on my TBR, which is The Key to My Life or something. It's over there. It's over there. It's contemporary. And then one will be from this pile that I'm adding to my TBR, because I am flying through the books. And because the rest of the week is going to be a little bit busy, I've got Baz books, work, that kind of thing, I'm going to be gentle on myself and read some shorter books for the rest of the month, because I've only got one big long book that's up on my TBR, which is The Rose Code. So that's the only book that's on my set TBR other than the contemporary that I need to read, and that will be read probably at the weekend, because I've got the weekend off. Finally got a Saturday of work. So this going live on the Friday. On the Sunday I'm having a pyjama day. I am having a complete, do my kids a roast, have a pyjama day. Obviously on my wrap ups I always like to sort of fill you in. I've been going through a bit of a hard time with my perimenopause, and my hormones have been going over the place, and I got sent off from work the other day because it's really, so I'm waiting on test results. Nothing to worry about, I'm just getting it all checked. But yeah, I've been, that and everything that's happened with mum. My mum's getting better, so good news, yay, she's being more independent. But in myself, like my sisters, we're struggling a little bit, so I'm taking it a bit more gentle, using a lot more self-care. I'm at Baz Books, and my work's been, colleagues like have been lovely, but I'm doing self-care. So Sunday will be my first pyjama day in I do not know how long. I'm doing the kids a roast. I'm literally going to have no makeup on, which for me is a very big thing. Like, I have makeup on no matter what, so I'm just going to have no makeup, pyjama, hoodie, all my winter clothes, wrap up, do a family a roast, and have a family roast reading day. I'm even tempted just to have a like 24-hour reading marathon, but I'm doing their roast, so I don't know if that's is that going to put pressure on myself? I don't know. Sorry, sniffles a bit of a. But yeah, so that's the way the month's been. I'm really going to do a bit more self-care, but so far the books have been amazing. I've got 7 books that I'm adding on to the TBR, and I have been very mindful to pick books that I want to read, because like I said, so far this month's going amazing. So this has been a bit of a ramble. Let's get on and show you what I've been reading. So my unrated book of the month is The Brothers of Auschwitz by Malka Adler, and this is about 2 brothers of Auschwitz, and it is very hard hitting. It is probably one of the most rawest books about Auschwitz and things that I've heard about, and there are a lot of triggers in this. You really need to go either way with this. with your eyes open, but it's very, very hard hitting, and I found it very tough, but it's not my place to rate it. We also do have an extra bit that I didn't expect in this book, so it is really good. And obviously this is a non-fiction book, and the author of the book is actually talking to the brothers that were in Auschwitz, so you know they're going to get out the other end, which is good. But God, it's their story, it's very hard hitting. Now we're going to charity shop. Where do I always find crumbs? A book that I'm going to have to send Gemma's way is Remote Sympathy by Catherine Chidley. Again, this is another Auschwitz-y kind of book. This is what I'm set in Auschwitz, but this is set in one of the other camps. And this is set in Buchenwald, so it's Buchenwald, Buchenwald. And this is the story of mainly one of the camp officers' wives, who gets cancer, basically. That's pretty much. And then one of the prisoners in the camp knows about this remote sympathy, this way of treating the cancer, and he believes he can fix it, or not believes, I think he wants the best way. If he fixes her, he stays alive, basically. And it's their story, and it's stories. This is based a bit on a non-fictional work. This has got some work on it, but it's, again, very, very hard-hitting. Very, found it quite dark and quite tough, but the writing is very good. It's still 3.5 stars. It was still a good book, but not one I'm going to keep, no. Then to my 4 stars, and one of them was a reread. I still need to put it on Goodreads. I've changed the rating of it. But my reread, but it doesn't count on my numbers because it's a brand new copy. I read this. It's my favourite book of, I think, 2019 or 2018. I don't know. A few years ago, it was my favourite book. 2019 or 2020. I read the binding. I read my sister's copy. It was my favourite book of the year so far. It was 5 stars. Since we got this book, the author has made some very transphobic, some very, very wrong comments, and she's been she's not an author I support because of her comments. They've been very, very wrong. But I wanted to reread the book because it was one of my favourite books of the year. It's still one of my most beautiful books that I own. You can see it's absolutely stunning. Whereas it was one of my favourite books of the year and it was 5 stars, it is now 4 stars. I'm keeping it because it's stunning and I might reread it. I think it's going to be a pretty thing that's going on my shelves rather than one that I will reread. Because when I reread it, I didn't like it as much. And I don't know if the sort of prejudices towards it are because of what the author's done. But I didn't like it as much on the reread, which is a bit strange. Now to my next 4 stars, which is my mystery book of the month. And this is The Lamplighters by Emma Stonix. Some people have loved this. Some people have hated it. I thought it was good. Very good. 4 stars was still a very good rating for me. And it was set in Cornwall. It's 3 keepers vanished from the Memorium lighthouse miles from the shore. The entrance door is locked from the inside. The clocks have stopped. The table is set for a meal left uneaten. What happened to the 3 men out in the tower? 20 years later, a writer approaches the women they left behind, and determined to solve the puzzle. I could not solve the puzzle. I didn't get it. So that in itself is good. It is a stunning book, but the charity shop can have it because once I've reread a mystery, I don't want to reread it again. But it was very, very good. It was a lot better than I expected. I didn't get the twists. I didn't get the turns. I thought it was a fantastic book. Now to another book that I'm keeping. And you guys know me. I don't do short stories in general. I'm not very good at them. Sneaky peek, one of the books that's in my longest books on my TBR is short stories. I'm stuffed. But this book, The Shadow of the Queens, was sent to me by a subscriber, and I read it. It's a short story set in the Tudor times, and it's basically the different sort of stories behind the Tudor court. 13 tales from the heart of the Tudor court. And this is 4 stars because there were some of these stories that were incredible, some that were quite meh, but some that were incredible. I think once you've read the 6 Tudor Queen series, you should read these because there are characters in the 6 Tudor Queen series, some of the wives, and this has got backstory behind some of the other people that were in their court with them. And I think this will give you even more and help you get even more out of it. But don't read it until after you've read the other 6 Tudor Queen series. But it is such an incredible book. I absolutely loved it. Really loved it. It was 4 stars, but it was a really good 4 stars. And that's it for 4 stars. Now I'm going to 4.5 stars. Yes, I've read a lot of contemporaries this month. Yes, I am doing self-care. I am picking books that I need to look after myself, and that is okay. So yes, contemporaries are not for everyone. I know it's a bit of a hit and miss, and it's a genre that not everyone loves, but it is a genre that I love. So one of the books I bought on holiday, I've got a couple of books I bought on holiday, so these are quite newish to my TBR. Last Time We Met by Emily Houghton. This is relatively new on my TBR. Like I said, I only got it in summer holidays, but I bloody enjoyed it. And it was one of those ones where one promise, age 13, best friends Eleanor and Finn are inseparable. Convinced it will always be that way, they make a pact to go to university together, to always live near each other, and when they're both single at 35 to get married. But then they haven't spoken in 15 years. Yes, it's a bit of the past and future timelines, past and present timelines, jumping around, romance, friends to lovers trope, very good, very cosy, but really there was something about this that gave me all the cosy feels, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'll say that one in a minute. Then to another mystery. So I've read 2 mysteries this month. What's going on with me? The Appeal by Janice Hallett. This was my TBR jar pick, and the TBR jar did well because it's 4.5 stars. Thank you, TBR jar. This is The Appeal. 1 murder, 15 suspects. Can you uncover the truth? I could not guess I guessed relatively early on who was killed, but I did not get who the killer. I really didn't get it. I've got another Janice Hallett book on my shelves. Does anyone want this? I don't know whether to give this back to the charity shop or what, because it's a gorgeous edition, Waterstone's exclusive content. I might put it to one side. I might do a giveaway or something with this, because this is a gorgeous copy. I got it in the charity shop, but it's a stunning copy, and it's got Waterstone's exclusive content. It is brilliant, brilliant book. I thoroughly, thoroughly loved it. I didn't get the twist, didn't get the turns. I'm glad the TBR jar did good, because the TBR jar has been awful for next month. But I loved it. I've got another Janice Hallett book, and I'm going to look for more of her work, because this was really, really good, and really, really one I've got. So I think that's going to go over there. I'm just going to go put it to one side. Now to the penultimate. I'm going to keep this one. It's Before I Do by Sophie Cousins. This one was given to me by the lovely Danny from Danny's Book World for Christmas. I've kept the author's other 2 works, and it's a 3.5 star that I'm keeping. 4.5 star that I'm keeping. Wow. Mainly because if I'm collecting the author's work, well, I can't give it away. This is a bit of a wedding trope, which I don't normally do because obviously I'm not married, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get married at this rate, Christopher. But anyway, this is Before I Do. This is a bit of a case of the man that is the person that could he be the person on blah, blah, blah. What would you do if the one that got away turned up on the night before your wedding? And it's really where you question whether one event can make you question everything, and is like, do you always wonder what if? We all have a man that was a partner, generalization. We all have a partner that was our what if, a person that got our heart, and you wonder what happened. I've got a man person that we nearly did, but we didn't, and there's a bit of a history along that one. But if I believe that if I hadn't have met this person, then I would never have met Chris, and that's all the connections. So, but yeah, you always have a what if, and this is about that what if, and it's really good. Thoroughly loved it. Thought the writing was amazing. This author's been a top author, contemporary author, and I will look for more of her work. Bloody loved it. Really good contemporary. Very much about mother and daughter relationship as well, and it's got a bit of grief in it. It's got a bit of self-confidence. It's got a lot in this, and I thought it was very, very good. Now one more, and yes, this is a book that I didn't add to my TBR officially. You guys didn't know I was going to read it. It's a Christmas book that I'm reading, that I started reading on like the 12th of November. Please don't judge me, anyone. I even got myself a Christmas. I've already had a mince pie. I've already had a soft Christmas coffee drink. I am already in the Christmas mood. Sneaky peek. One of these books that is down here that I'm adding to the TBR is a Christmas book in November. I never do this, but I needed a contemporary to brighten me up. I needed something to give me that feel while I'm feeling a bit crappy about myself. And Snowed In for Christmas by Sarah Morgan. I've not loved all of Sarah Morgan's books, but I have loved a lot of them. And this has made me want to go and get her recent one and get it and read it straight away. And I wasn't going to do that. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to wait. But this was so good. It was 4.5 stars, but I'm starting to whether I should have put it at 5. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one or not. This is going to be on my pile of I don't know. I don't want to give it away, but I don't know if I want to keep it. I don't know yet, because I'm not sure if how many of her books I've kept. But this is Snowed In for Christmas. It's about like a family. You've got 3 siblings. You know what I think about siblings: Ross, Alice, and Clemmy. They go back up to the Scottish Highlands to be with their family. They've all got very different lives, very different secrets. Then you've got Alice, who is you've got Lucy, who's like this person that's on her own. She goes off to their place to meet Ross because like on a business work thing, and yeah, she's kind of drawn into family and how that it is cozy. It's a cozy contemporary Christmas book, and it is just what I needed, and I bloody loved it. Loved the siblings, loved the mum, loved the different chapters with the different names. I just thought it was a cozy feel. It was out last year. It was her last year Christmas book, and I would thoroughly recommend it to everybody, but I'm not sure. That's going to be on my not sure pile yet. So now I've got 5 stars. I've got 5 stars. Any one of these could be a favourite. I know that there's a good chance that the 2 books that I'm currently reading are going to go for my favourites of the year. But, I don't know if I should say pick a favourite, because I think they're all amazing. I really can't pick a favourite. But they're all incredible. They're all 5 stars for very different reasons, and I thoroughly love them. So if you want to try and guess a favourite out of them, you can. But there's pretty much one that definitely stands out. But is that standing out because it's for a reason? Yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. First one is The Lost Whale by Hannah Gold. I know Olivia's reading that soon, and I got it when we went to London for Katie's book signing in March, and I thoroughly loved this. I thought it was an incredible book. It is about nature. It really is nature preserving. It's the person who wrote The Last Bear, and I've just heard she's got a new book out, the sequel to The Last Bear, The Lost Bear, or Finding Bear or something, and oh my god, I want it. It's middle grade by Hannah Gold. It is just, oh god, it is stunning. There's pictures in this. The pictures in this are just stunning. It's one I'm going to reread. It's a cozy book, and it's about family, and it does tackle some hard-hitting issues that are going on in this. There is a reason why this boy Rio gets sent to live with his grandmother, who he barely knows, in California while his mum is in hospital. Rio wants his mum to get better, and it's heartbreaking in that way. And you've got nature, and you've got the relationship with Rio trying to build up, pushing his grandmother away, but knowing that he needs him. And then they've got the whale that's a very important part of this, and you've got friendship, and it's just, when I say I love this, I flipping loved it. It was bloody brilliant, and I'm going to 100% reread that. Then to a book I bought because of Katie from Books and Things. Stunning Sprayed Edges. Gren and I Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. I've got the whole of the Reputation of the series, the historical fiction series. This is historical fiction, but YA, LGBTQI romances. Yes, it's slightly longer than it probably needs to be, and I think that was something Charlie said about, my sister said about. But I loved it. I loved it. Gwen and I are not in love. They've basically been put together because their families want them to be together, but they basically love, each of them love a person from the same sex. And there is romances, and there is sort of stuff about that sort of time era, and it's all like there's connections to like King Arthur and the sword and Lancelot and all that lot, and there's connections to that, and they've got some LGBTQI twists in that which I think are brilliant, bit of magical in it, and I just absolutely really enjoyed it. It was thoroughly great book. Another one I'm going to keep. Then to the last one of the series that I own. Now I've got a sneak preview. I can't remember if I've shown you the books. Yeah, I've got the 2 of the other Bridgerton series, but I need, this is the 3rd book, and I've read the 4th or whatever. It's 4th book in the series, and I need to get 5 and 6, so they're on my Amazon wish list. If I don't get them as gifts for Christmas, then I'll be buying them second hand because I'm keeping this series. It's the Bridgerton series. I wanted to read this before this book one comes out on Netflix, which is coming out on Netflix in December. Wanted to read this. It is Penelope's story with Colin, and I think it's actually my favourite of the series so far. It is smutty romance. It's a Bridgerton series. It is everything that I shouldn't love, but I do. I think for me, the reason why I love this the most out of all the series is I love Penelope's character. She's not the Bridgerton, she's a Featherington. And she's my favourite probably character in the whole of this TV series so far. Because she's a bigger girl, she's got red hair, she's not deemed as attractive. We all know that when I put this book down, sneaky peek, if you've not read this book, not read the series and want to know something, there's a twist now. So close your ears and come back when the book's down if you don't want to hear this bit. We all know Penelope is Lady Whistledown. And this is her story of her coming. Lady Whistledown gets found out. And sneaky peek if you've not read this. And I love this book. I loved it. I love Colin. I love the friends to lovers trope. I love the way it makes her feel pretty and it shows body positivity. It's just a flipping great book. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Now to the last 2 5 stars. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I think I've said it right. I know Gemma loved this one, but she didn't love Electra. So I want to try Electra, but I don't want to pay full price for it. So if I see Electra in the charity shops, I might buy it. But this is my first book by the author, and it's Ariadne's story. It's Greek myths, fantasy. It's about, like, Ariadne is the daughter of the princess of Crete and the daughters of King Minos. And it's her story and her sister's story, Phaedra. And they grow up hearing the terrible bellows of the Minotaur from the labyrinth. The Minotaur is Minos' biggest shame and Ariadne's brother, and it demands blood every year. But there is so much more to it than that, and I loved it. I thought it was beautifully written, fantastic. It gave me more of the Greek feel, and I'm keeping it. It's another keepy. I've got to find room on my shelves for all these keepies. What's going on? But I really loved it. Then last but not least, the new latest Beth L book, The Wake Up Call, which I was reading with Danny and Anne, but I think Anne's having a bit of a harder time, so she didn't really read it, but Danny did. Danny loved it. I loved it. Beth O'Leary's latest book. I will 100%. It's possibly up there as one of my favourites of hers. I've got all her books and I'm collecting them, and she's definitely a favourite author. This is, they got the 2 timelines. You've got the 2 characters. You've obviously got about Izzy and Lucas. It's the romance. It's a hotel setting. You've got characters that are not the 2 lead characters that I loved. There were so many characters that I loved. Again, the enemies to lovers trope. It's just got all tropes I absolutely loved. I thought it was a fantastic book, and God knows where I'm going to put it on my shelves. But it's brilliant. And yes, these 2 are my 2 favourites. I thoroughly loved them, but to be honest, any of those 5 stars are incredible. And yeah, I've got a lot of books to keep. So now to the books that I'm adding to my TBR. I won't talk about them too much because this video is going to be too long otherwise. So I've got the first one is the one I'm starting today, which is the book by Elizabeth Taylor, The Soul of Kindness. I know that Charlie from Charles Heathcote gave this to me years ago, and it's a short but sweet book. I don't know much about it, but I know that Charlie's loved it, and Charlie loves the author. The Soul of Kindness is what Flora believes herself to be, tall, blonde and beautiful. She appears to have everything under her control: her home, her baby, her husband Richard, her friend Meg, Kit, Meg's brother, who's always adored her, who has already adored Flora, and Pratchett the novelist, and domestic pet. Only the Bohemian painter Liz refuses to be a worshipper of the shrine. Flora enchants them all in her dangling visions of happiness and success through spellbound eyes. That's good. Looking forward to starting that. It's just over 200 pages, so I'm going to try and read that today and tomorrow. But like I said, I know I'm busy. So the next one is another one I bought. I've got 2 other books I bought on my summer holiday. God, no, 3. Oopsie, my Butlins trip, I've managed to get through like 4 books on the Butlins trip. That was not intentional, okay? This is Time After Time by Louise Pentland. I've loved the author series. She wrote the Wild Like Me series, and this is a bit of a time loopy kind of magical doodah one. So I don't know if it's on the right side. Tabby is stuck between the small town she grew up in and the same job and the same relationship. Sometimes she wishes she could go back and start all over again. Then she meets Bee, a free spirit like no one else, like no one she's never known. Tabby sees in her a friend, a chance she craves. But something weird is happening. The Wi-Fi's not working, the shop sign looks different, and Bee's fashion sense seems interesting. Somehow, Tabby ended up in the 1980s. Just what I need. Absolutely just what I need. Then another one, the Witchfinder Sister. So I thought witchy, still quite wintry. This is set in 1645. The number of women my brother Matthew killed, so far I reckon it, is 106. Bloody hell. When Alice Hopkins' husband dies tragically, she returns to Manningtree, the small Essex town where her brother Matthew still lives. But home is no longer a place of safety. Whispers are spreading of witchcraft and the terrible fate that these women are accused. And at the heart stands just one man. To what length will Matthew's obsession drive him? And what choice will Alice make when she finds herself at the heart of his very plan? This isn't long, it's about 350 pages. Dark, gothic-y, kind of wintry. Fancied it. Then to an extra Christmas book that's being added to the list because I fancy Christmas. This is Christina Lauren's latest book that was out a few years ago, Inner Holidays. This is Love Actually meets Groundhog Day, so we've got another Groundhog Day thing in a laugh-out-loud holiday romance. And this is the most wonderful time of the year, but not for Marilyn Jones. She's living with her parents, hates her going nowhere job, and has just made a romantic error of epic proportions. But perhaps worst of all is this is the last Christmas May will be at her favourite place in the world, a snow cabin where she and her family have spent every holiday since she was born. Mentally melting down as she drives away for the final time, May throws out what she thinks is a simple plea to the universe. Please show me what will make me happy. The next thing she knows, everything goes black. When May gasps awake, she's back on a plane, beginning the same holiday over and over again, with one hilarious disaster after another, sending her back to the plane. May must figure out how to break free of the strange time loop and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. And again, it's another not long one. So this is 300 pages. I got some shorter ones finally. All the flipping long books I've been having. I need some of these shorter ones. Yeah, these are all shorter. I think I've got one longer one out of 7. Then the other book I bought on holiday, The Stormkeeper Sister by Catherine Doyle. I needed another middle grade fantasy. I think this is part of a series, but I hope not. Once in a generation at Arramore Islands chooses a new Stormkeeper to wield its power and keep the magic safe from the enemies. The time has come for Fion's grandfather, a secretive and eccentric old man, to step down. Soon a new keeper will arise. But deep underground, someone has been waiting for Fion, and as the battle becomes the island's next champion reigns, more sinister magic is waking up, intent on an ancient war. About 300 pages. Fantasy, middle grade, just what I bloody need. Then to another wartime book. This is in honour of Remembrance Day. I know I'm reading it a bit after Remembrance Day, but this is When I Come Home Again by Caroline Scott. And this is set in World War One. A soldier is arrested on the Durham Cathedral for the last week of the First World War, but he has no memory of who he is or how he came here. He's given the name Adam and transferred to the Rehabilitation Institute in the Lake District, where Dr. James Howarth is determined to uncover his identity. But unwilling to live the trauma of war, Adam has locked his memory away, seeming for good. It's really good. Don't know any more than that. And then another fancy to fantasy. So I've got a YA fantasy in there. I've got like Tomb Loops. This is Love, and this is Cinderella's Retelling. And this is a retelling about Cinderella. It's part of the the doodah ones, these Disney retellings. Unable to prove that she is the missing princess, unable to bear life under Lady Tremaine any longer, Cinderella starts to work as a palace seamstress. However, when Cinderella finds herself witness to a grand conspiracy to take the king and prince out of power, she's faced with the question of love and loyalty to the kingdom. And Cinderella must find her way to stop the villains of past and present before it's too late. And another. This is longer, it's like 400 pages, but the typesetting, it's just, I flew through these when I read them first. And I've read the other one, so I'm going to read those. So, those are the books that I am started. Which one of these 7s do you think I should read next? Obviously, we know I'm reading the Elizabeth Taylor. Which of the other ones should I read? Push right up the list. You guys can have a say in it. I'd love to know which ones. And obviously, the ones that you talk about more gets pushed up, and I will get to reading them quicker. I'll probably read more than these other 7 in the last bits of the month. But these are priorities. These are ones that I'm really excited about. And Sweet's being noisy. Now, because it's getting colder here, if you've got to the end of the video, put a scarf, like a winter clothes emoji, so a scarf, hat or gloves in the comments down below. Like I said, let me know how you're doing. Thank you all for your amazing support. Love you all. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not new to my channel, look subscribe, bring on my ding-a-ling. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.